Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I am doing an extra special live with one of my dear friends, Mel Robbins. And I actually just wanted to call her today just to check in on her because today is a really big day for her. And I was like, you know what? We should just do it live because one, I want to catch up with you. But also I want to be in on the conversation and the celebration. So Mel is going to be joining me in just a minute. And if you didn't yet listen, hi, friend.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm fantastic. I literally am subsisting on Justin's cashew nut.
That's okay. I was just telling my audience that I wanted to just call you anyways when I texted you this week, like, how can I support you? And I'm like, be so much better to just let people in on this conversation than to
Woo!
have it privately. So how are you doing? Let everyone know why today is such a big day. I mean, let's be honest, yesterday was a huge day because you were on the Gold Digger podcast, but today is a very special day.
All right. So how many of you listened to the Gold Digger podcast? And yeah. Fantastic. And let us know, what did you get out of that conversation? So today is a really big day, Jenna. And by the way, you look amazing.
Thank you.
How is that little human being that's incubating in your body doing?
Big, so big. It's like taking up rib space at this point. You know what I mean?
Well, speaking of creating life, creating something, it's a big day for me because today is the birth of my book. Yes.
So amazing.
And it's the first book that I put out in 5 years. And it's been a real labor of love. And, I was having dinner last night. Everybody, I'm going to tell you a personal story. And if you read the book, you'll hear the story. If you watch my videos, you'll hear the story. If you listen to the Gold Digger podcast, you'll hear the story, but I'll tell you the story anyway. The idea for the high five habit happened in April 2020 when the world turned upside down, and I find myself in a really relatable moment of feeling overwhelmed by my life. How many of you can relate to feeling overwhelmed by your life? And just feeling discouraged and low energy. And I stumbled upon the profound power of high-fiving yourself in the mirror. And it was in the wake of a bunch of things that had happened in my life. And one of the things that really had happened in my life is that I had lost my dream job of being a daytime talk show host. Wait till you hear this story, Jenna. And when my life turned upside down, it was March 10th of 2020. We were taping at the CBS Broadcast Center, and somebody walked into the control room and announced that they had found COVID in the building, and they canceled my show, which means I was fired from my dream job. The last time I was in the CBS Broadcast Center was that moment. And last night, I was sitting at dinner with my daughter and my husband, who are here in New York with me. And my daughter turned to me and said, "Do you realize that you've come full circle, Mom?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Well, today you walked into the CBS Broadcast Center to tape a television show with Dr. Oz in your old studio about your new life. So the old chapter ended at CBS Broadcast Center.
Yeah.
And the new one is beginning in that same location." And she's like, "Do you understand like the divine nature of this circular moment?" And she's right.
Yeah.
And so I'm just sort of feeling this sense that this is a beginning.
Yeah.
I hope that it's a beginning of a movement around the world of people who start to practice habits of self-empowerment and self-celebration and self-support. We need it. We need to know how to look ourselves in the mirror and know that no matter what's happening in life, you can have your own back. I love that you're already listening to it on Audible. I hope you love it. I hope you love it. I think this is one of the most important things I've ever done. And for those of you that know the 5-second rule, I'm going to go on record right now and tell you, if you use this for just 5 days,
Yeah.
you'll realize why this is even 10 times more profound than the 5-second rule, because the 5-second rule and counting backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it gets you moving. It pushes you through fear. It helps you do the things you need to do to change your life. But I'm going to tell you something. It doesn't address the self-rejection or the self-doubt or the self-hatred that you've been living with for far too long. And I want to teach you, using very simple science, how to use programming that's already in your brain and your nervous system to rewire your mind and your spirit, and to create a habit of seeing yourself, supporting yourself, and cheering for yourself every single day of your life. And it's incredible, really incredible.
It's so amazing. One, your daughter is awesome for pointing out that full circle moment. It's also amazing to look at, you had 1 year and it would have been very easy to wallow. And I think the natural response is, and I think we all do our share of that, right? That's the human experience. Yeah. But I also think too, looking at our lives, I always find these seasons of like working while you're waiting, like while you're figuring out like what is the next thing, or what is my next step, or what is the right move. I look at like our fertility journey, and like there was those years of like grief waiting for the baby, and I'm like, but I worked to build the life that would support the baby when she was ready to come. And I think about what's so cool about your moment is like you lost your dream job, but you created a dream.
Oh my God. Like, hold on. Did you just hear that? Lost your dream job, but created a dream.
Yeah.
And I think that for all of you who have lost something or who are in this season of waiting, there is a dream that's waiting for you. And, I love what you just said. I mean, lost my dream job, but created the dream. It's true.
Yeah. And I think what's so awesome, you guys have to listen to your episode on the podcast. I've been practicing this with Coco, is you give the example of like there was a 3-part study done with children about like just praising them based on their innate abilities, praising them, recognizing like them trying a new skill, or simply just high-fiving them. And that contact and that like acknowledgement and that excitement, it just like spreads. And so I like literally we high-five all the time now. And I'm like, how cool to think about not just your own belief in yourself, but how too we can raise up another generation that this is just the practice. Because I think as a mom to a daughter, you're a mom, you have daughters, like thinking about like, where does that inner narrative come from? When does it begin? And like, how do we support our children in creating a narrative that's positive? But also when we're teaching our children, why are we not questioning what our inner narrative looks like?
That's who they're learning it from. They're learning it from us. And so if you want to have kids that have great self-confidence and a good, healthy sense of self-worth and self-esteem, you need to start practicing the high-five habit. Because right now you stand in front of the mirror, and men do this too, by the way. Like, here's the secret. We know that 91% of women hate how they look. 50% of human beings are uncomfortable looking at themselves in the mirror. This is not just women, it's men. If you stand in front of the mirror in the morning and you don't even look at yourself, that is a habit of rejection. This is why you're insecure, by the way. This is why you're a people pleaser. Because if you're insecure with yourself or you reject yourself, that's the basis of every relationship you have. That's why you go out into the world and you feel insecure. It begins with how you feel about yourself. And so if you want your daughters or your sons to be kind to themselves, if you want them to look in the mirror and see a human being that's worthy and that's worth celebrating and encouraging, even on the days that are challenging, even when you screw up, you actually have to practice the high-five habit. In writing this book, Jenna, I realized that my daughters, unfortunately, have learned self-criticism from me. We were taking a selfie one day and I was like, oh, do I look like that? And my daughter said, why do you always say that? I'm like, say what? They're like, every time we take a photo, you go, do I really look like that? And I was like, I do. And they're like, yes. And they're like, we think you're beautiful.
Yeah.
But if you don't actually think you are, Mom, why would we think we are?
Yeah.
Like, we don't believe you when you tell us that you think that we're this, that, or the other thing, because you sit there and trash yourself.
Yeah.
Your kids are watching.
Yeah. And it's wild too to think about, like, like how our children mirror what we do, and how I was just having a conversation with someone about like how the way we feel about ourselves impacts the way that we show up as a human, as a leader, as a parent, as a spouse, as a partner, as a friend. And it's funny because like, especially women these days, but of course everyone, it's like we disqualify ourselves from even starting something because of how we feel about ourselves. Like we literally pull ourselves away from the starting line of the new job, the new relationship, the new friendship, the new idea, the new dream. We don't even let ourselves inch our way up to the starting line because we disqualify ourselves. And so much of what we believe about ourselves becomes true in what we do, what we accomplish, and how we show up. I want to know, as you're kind of going through this personal crisis, you haven't released a book in 5 years, you lose your dream job. What was the writing process like for you? Was it cathartic? Was it challenging?
No.
Like, how did it feel?
It felt like having a rotor-rooter go through my insides. Like it literally, I have profound dyslexia. I'm sitting here, I'm laughing, Jenna, because Amy and Melinda are here, and Amy helped me with the book, and Melinda helps me with every project we do. And they will tell you, everybody wanted to kill me because I had been trying to write something for almost 4 years. And in fact, right after I lost the talk show, my first publisher, Houghton Mifflin, called me right after I lost the talk show and was like, remember the advance we gave you last year? We need it back. You haven't produced a manuscript. We're done here. So I had to give money back at the beginning of the pandemic that I'd already spent. They didn't have PPP loans yet. I didn't know how we were going to make payroll. They started canceling all the speeches. I didn't go, okay, I got to come up with a book with a 5 in it. I was literally like in survival mode. And the high 5 habit is something that I just started doing to create a ladder to climb out of the emotional hole I was in. It wasn't like, oh, this is a book idea. It unfolded so organically. But my process for writing is to literally, when I start talking, my team just tapes everything. And then we send it to transcription. Yep. And then I, with horror, look at the transcription and see that the gobbledygook that comes out of my mouth that I think sounds so fascinating and amazing actually is not grammatically even close to a sentence or a complete train of thought. And then we start the painful process of editing it. And so we started writing this book probably in June or July. When did we finish it?
February? That's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, I think we finished it like
February, end of February.
March.
We basically, and we rewrote it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet we actually wrote the book you're reading in about 4 weeks. 2 weeks. Amy's saying 2 weeks.
14 days.
In 14 days, we literally took a manuscript because I was like, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Something's not right, something's not right. We literally, the chapter 1 is sort of the story. Chapter 2 is the science. Yeah. That was the science 14 days before the manuscript was actually sent to the printer, was woven through the whole book.
It's amazing.
And we pulled the whole book apart and put the science right up front because I had this epiphany that was such a simple idea that sounds super cheesy and stupid. Everybody and their mother is going to think this book's a fucking joke. Oh, sorry for your fish. I didn't mean that, guys. I'm sorry. Little ears. The ducks are flying across the sky. It's fall. So $1 in the jar for Mel. Okay, we have one of those at home. I paid for college that way. So we put the science. We deconstructed the whole book, stuck the science in there. We weren't even going to put the painting story in because it felt so woo woo. And I'm like, but it backs up the science, so we got to stick it in. Oh my God!
What?
I haven't called the artist.
You got to tell them.
I haven't called Gail. The woman in chapter 14, I haven't told her. I have to call Gail right after this. The artist in the painting story. I have not let her know that I've written a book about the story. Oh my God. I'm an idiot. She's not going to sue me, is she? Like, it's like
She'll love it. That's amazing. Well, and what I think is so fascinating about the science piece and putting that in there, I'll carry this for you for a minute, is that for me, like if someone tells me to do something just because it works for them, I don't necessarily buy into it. But until I understand either psychologically or physically or metabolically or however you want to look at it, like if somebody told me, when people used to tell me, Jenna, you shouldn't eat gluten, I was like, I love mac and cheese. I will never not eat gluten. When I take a test that tells me, no, you are like very, very sensitive to gluten and your body is like crashing because of it, okay, I take it seriously. So when we look at the science and put that in there, I mean, one, is just fascinating. Like it's
unbelievable.
Fascinating.
The science is groundbreaking.
And it's so funny too, because it's like when I was telling someone I was just telling my hairdresser about your book, and I was telling her about the story and just the method. And I was like, I know it sounds silly, but like you should have your clients like high five themselves in your mirror when they go to leave your appointments. Like
that's a great idea.
They're going to feel like bomb.com walking out of the room, but two, they're going to connect that feeling with coming to see you. And then you won't have to hound them when their roots get too long. But I just think, it's amazing to really match the science behind it with the story and just with like the actual feelings. I think one thing is so powerful is just thinking about like what 1% increase in confidence could mean for somebody, just a 1% increase. And then like exponentially grow that. Like think about what people can do. It's crazy.
It's incredible. And like, look, like one of the other things I read about in this book is mantras don't work. We all know we're supposed to stand in front of the mirror and be like, I love myself. But after you spend decades telling yourself you hate yourself and ignoring yourself in the mirror, your brain is going to reject it. And so how about this? If you're in a place in your life where your confidence is in the gutter, where you have a tremendous amount of shame or regret or trauma or super like awful self-talk, how about this? How about you just stand in front of the mirror every morning and you high five yourself as a way just to encourage yourself to try today?
Yeah.
That's it. Like, let's make the bar really low. Yeah. Aren't you a human being that actually deserves to just have a little bit of somebody going, hey, I see you trying. I see you trying. Like, let's like even keep the bar low, because what happens when you do this every day, everybody, again, the programming's already in your brain. You've been high-fiving everybody else forever. Mm-hmm. So when you start to high-five yourself, all the programming that's already in there, in your mind, in your nervous system, it just goes to work for you. And if you leave your bathroom, this is research based. If you leave your bathroom feeling a little bit more energized. When you and I recorded the podcast, Jenna, I hadn't even talked to Dr. Amen yet. So one of the reasons why you feel a boost in your mood, Dr. Amen just told me, he was on Dr. Oz with me yesterday. Yeah. The reason why you feel a boost in your mood, even if you resist this, everybody, is because your brain has always given you a drip of dopamine whenever you high five somebody else or you received one. Your brain doesn't know the difference between high-fiving this person or that person. When you high-five yourself, your brain goes, oh, yep, dopamine. That's why you feel a boost in your mood. The reason why you feel your nervous system, the reason why you feel like sort of a little bit of a pep, you walk into the bathroom like, ooh, and then you kind of high-five and you're like, that's cheesy, but then you leave kind of feeling a little bit better, is because your nervous system recognizes gestures of celebration. Waving hello, raising your arms when your team scores, hugging somebody, high-fiving somebody. Those are all arm gestures where you raise your arms. Your nervous system is the thing that's giving you the jolt, everybody. So this is science that's already in your body that we're teaching you how to make work for you. And when you leave your bathroom, just like Jenna's saying, with 1% more confidence, 1% more energy, 1% more optimism, it changes the trajectory of your day. Yeah. Period.
Yeah. Let's talk about the challenge that's happening. I am so excited to be a student of it, to be a part of it, to come alongside you and celebrate this. Let's talk about this because I'm so excited about it.
Yeah. And I know you're going to put a link in there for everybody to click on because you can join it for free. So Jenna and I have partnered with some of the most empowering people in the world. We've also partnered with the world's leading personal development app. So this isn't just, hey, ho, this is Mel's challenge. No, you literally for 5 days, it's October 4th through October 8th. That's when it kicks off. You can jump into the challenge literally with a name and an email. And it's 5 days, everybody. 5 days where I am going to be your coach. I have recorded these videos that you're going to watch. They are so on fire. You better bring a parachute. I'm going to launch you back into your life so high. You're going to need a parachute in order to get down safely. And I'm going to not only teach you about the high five habit, all the science, but we're going to dig into the science of confidence. We're going to talk about how to break through self-doubt, how to break through fear. And every day you're going to do these little teeny fun things like high-fiving yourself. There's a journal prompt that you do in the app. We're making this so easy. It's hosted with an app that's free. You literally make it so easy. Do a journal prompt that relates to the teaching. And here's the coolest part. The coolest part is there are going to be hundreds of thousands of other people in there with you.
Yes.
Uploading photos, high-fiving you back, cheering you on. If you feel like you need some energy, if you feel like you need a boost of something good, if you feel like you need a crew that's super positive and celebratory, if you feel like you need something to look forward to, if you feel like you need some momentum and inspiration to take everything that you've just survived these last 18 months and pivot towards something new, you need the high five challenge, and it's free. You got nothing to lose. So Jenna's going to put her link in there. She's pinned it. Click on that to join for free. We will take care of you. We will do the heavy lifting. We are going to inspire you. You're going to be in there with a group of people that are so excited to be there with you. And it's exactly what you need right now. There's so much negativity. We need habits of happiness. We need habits of optimism. We need habits of bringing our energy and vitality back. And that's what the high five challenge is going to give you. It's going to make you feel like the world is finally high-fiving you back, because you know what? Jenna and I will be in there high-fiving you back.
Yes. I'm so excited because one of my favorite things about you, and I know this about you personally, so this isn't just like what we see of Mel Robbins, is like you are the queen of simplification. And I think that nowadays everything feels like so overwhelming, so complex. I know, like, as a mom and a mom to be, like, if somebody tells me to commit to something for 90 days or something, I'm like, I just don't think I can do it. And then it puts me on this like shame cycle of like feeling like guilty, like I dropped the ball again. I can't believe I did this. I am the worst. I suck, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, what if you just committed 5 days to these micro steps that you can adopt? And I think too, it's like the perfect time of year as we enter into Q4. I was just doing Q4 training, and I'm like, so many of us give up at this point of the year, and we're like, let's just wait. We'll just wait. You know, the next year's coming around. And it's like, if we can finish this year with confidence that we can bring into the new year, thinking of your full circle moment that you just experienced for every single person sitting on this live stream, imagine 1 year from now, somebody pointing out to you, do you remember when you were watching Jenna and Mel talk? And look at where you are today. Like, imagine that. So I'm super excited about the challenge. I think what's so beautiful about it is just how simple it is. And I know how you always say, like, this feels stupid, like counting down to 5, high-fiving yourself in the mirror. However, these things work. These things change lives. It's been proven time and time again. And I want to do it with you. I'm like so ready. I'm so pumped for it.
I am too. Well, it's sort of like, you know, imagine when the first person said, you know, you really need to drink a lot of water to stay hydrated. Most of us would be like, well, that sounds stupid. Yeah. Like, but the truth is, the reason why these things work is because we're breaking that fact that you're doing the opposite.
Yep.
Tell me, how does standing in front of the mirror and ignoring yourself help you?
Yes.
How does picking yourself apart in the mirror every morning actually help you? How does rejecting, looking for faults, focusing on what's not going right help you?
Yeah.
How does beating yourself up over all the things and doubting yourself help you? It doesn't. So let Jenna and I, for free, help you break through the self-doubt and fear that's holding you back. Let us help you for free take control of your life. Let us help you for free to feel re-energized and re-engaged and reignited in your confidence and in your vitality and in your ability to truly change your life. Because you know, you have survived a lot these last 18 months. You're wiser, you're stronger than you're giving yourself credit for, and you've had all of these insights. I don't want you to continue to sit and wait around for life to go back to normal. I want you to take everything that you've just gained in these last 18 months, and I want you to make an intentional turn toward creating something that really empowers you. And you're going to be more likely to do that, by the way, if you feel energized. If you feel optimistic. You know, if you think about your kids. Think about your kids playing town soccer, okay? Right before the game. I don't care if they're 6 years old or they're playing varsity as a 16-year-old. Right before the game, at the beginning of the game, what do they do? They come together in a huddle and they send each other into the game with a high five. And that high five at the beginning of a game communicates, we got this. This isn't going to be easy, but we can do it. Let's go make it happen. I believe in each of you. I got your back. I'm going to put in my best effort. When you start your day with that communication to your own reflection, when you send yourself into the game of life every morning with that energy and that optimism and that spirit, everything changes.
It's amazing. I want to know, Mel, so I want everyone who's joining to just write, comment, I joined. It's high5jenna.com. And I want for you to let us know if you've got this book. This is going to, I mean, we should start a book club. Wouldn't that be so fun?
Sure.
Okay.
We should do it.
So let everyone know where they can grab your book that just came out today. I feel like I'm like throwing you a birthday party virtually.
I
where
feel
can
like
everyone
I'm at
pick
my
up the
own
book?
wedding. Honest to God, I'm sort of disassociated. Like I have to keep high-fiving my heart and going, I'm okay, I'm safe, I'm loved. Come back into my body, come back into my body. Everybody, this is a dream come true. I have dreamt about figuring out a way to help people feel encouraged and empowered. I really have. And I thought that the 5-second rule would be the only thing that I ever did because it became so helpful and impactful for millions of people. To see people around the world, particularly you moms and dads with your kids, teaching your kids, because you can encourage your kids, but the real gift is teaching your kids how they can encourage and support themselves because you're not with them at school.
Yes.
Imagine if your kids knew that if they got a bad day or they got a bad score or somebody said something jerky to them at lunch, they could go into that bathroom at school and high five themselves and pick themselves back up. That's what this is about. It's about a tool for resilience and self-confidence and self-empowerment. That's what we're talking about here. And so, I feel so excited because, I woke up this morning, dude, we are number 2 on Amazon. The only book in the United States that is bigger than us right now. Some crazy political. Are we seeing
Come on,
this?
people. We can make
Can we
personal
send a
development cooler
message?
than politics.
Yeah, we can send a message that self-empowerment and inspiration and positivity and life improvement, that it's way more important, that we as a humanity and as people want to talk about something different. We want to talk about feeling empowered. We want to talk about simple ways to take control of our lives. We want to bring the power back in ourselves. That's what I'm talking about. We're number 1 in Canada. We are about to be number 1 in the UK. We are climbing up to number 1 on Barnes and Noble. Like my head is exploding. And you guys found out about the challenge first because we're going to announce it on the Today Show tomorrow. But you got to it first. And so jump in there. There's literally tens of thousands of people already pre-registered. We only announced it this morning. You can get in it now and start uploading photos. And by gosh, let me tell you, I love these people who are like, who needs Costco? Who needs Target? Because just last week, everybody. Target and Costco said, yeah, nah, we've never heard of you, Mel Robbins. You're not a known author. I'm like, oh, yeah?
Watch us.
You didn't know that I had Jenna supporting me. You didn't know that I had all these. No, seriously. Like, that's another example of, you guys all see that we're exploding and all these amazing things are happening. You didn't see me on the floor of my kitchen crying because Target, one of my favorite stores, is like, yeah, we don't want your book. Seriously.
I saw the video that you sent to our friend group, so I knew what was going on. But I think too,
I still love Target and I still love Costco, and of course, we'll give you the book, but it shows you that, you want to play the long game in life. And I really want you to realize that the game of life is going to be a lot more fun, and you're going to feel better about yourself if you can wake up every day and see a person in the mirror that you are celebrating. And for those of you, by the way, that have gotten the book and read it or gotten the book and listened to it, would you please leave me a review? This really matters because I can do everything that I can on social media. Jenna and I can do podcasts and live streams, but when somebody goes to buy the book online, if there's some like awful review from somebody that, whatever, or like if you loved the book, leave an honest review, but if you loved the book, please give it 5 stars. If you love the book, please explain why. If you have a deep kind of awakening, please be generous and share that with other people, because the folks that are considering buying this book are going to be swayed by what you have to say about it. And so this is like a super, super important thing. And if in some small way this book or even this conversation or Jenna's podcast has made a difference for you, one way you could high-five me back seriously is please leave an honest review about what you got out of that book. And yes, it's going to be translated into Spanish. We're actually going to go into the studio in about 3 weeks and record the Spanish audiobook. So that's going to be coming very soon.
Incredible. And you can pick it up at high5habit.com.
Yeah, or anywhere. Buy it anywhere that
Yes.
books are sold. Seriously, anywhere in the world that books are sold. The English version is out. We have 23 languages and counting coming. But you can buy it anywhere globally in English right now. And I recorded the audiobook and it is amazing.
Amazing. Well, if you need any further convincing, tune into our episode together yesterday on the Gold Digger podcast. It is one of my favorite episodes, and it's just so candid, and it also explains some of the science. So if you're listening to us and you're like, wait, you high-five yourself in the mirror and your life changes, listen into that episode. Join us for the free challenge. I am so excited about it. We're going to do it as a family. So again, high5jenna.com. And Mel, congratulations. Happy birthday. Happy everything day. I feel like today is the day, and I feel like we should high-five each other.
Yes. How do I do that? Do I go like this?
Do
I go like this?
1, 2, 3, go. I love you so much, and you should just be so proud of yourself.
I am proud of myself. And you don't want to say, you want to know something, everybody? It's really hard to say that. I think we spend a lifetime playing down how we feel. We spend a lifetime beating ourselves up to actually hear myself say the words, "I'm proud of you, Mel," and to allow you to say it and not go, oh, oh, thanks, but to actually feel it. That's a big breakthrough for me.
Yes.
And so I think it is for a lot of people that you don't take a compliment. You don't ever feel proud of yourself. You constantly focus on what's not working. And I did that for years, and it robs you of joy, and it robs you of momentum, and it robs you of your motivation, and it robs you of feeling content and grounded in your life. And so the high-five habit changed all of that for me. I can actually hear what Jen is saying, and I can really receive it. And so thank you. I love you.
I love you too. Don't forget to call your painter and let her know her story made it into the book.
Oh God, yes, please. We got to call Gail right now. Oh my God. Chapter
Call
14.
Gail. Okay, I love you. I'll text
you
later. Congratulations.
Bye everybody. Thank you, everybody. Bye.